We have some incredible text messages that have been leaked. You may remember a guy named Mark Meadows. Mark Meadows was Donald Trump's final chief of staff, lasting up through the end of Trump's presidency. CNN has obtained more than 2,000, about 2,300, in fact, text messages involving Mark Meadows. And what they expose is truly incredible. What we have learned, and we're going to look at some of these text messages momentarily. They were brainstorming how to lie about the Trump riots, how to cover their you-know-whats about the Trump riots. They were coordinating a response that they knew wasn't actually based in fact. And we're going to look at a couple of these text messages. These are fascinating. Sean Hannity, the Fox News propagandist, texted Mark Meadows and said, "Is North Carolina going to be okay?" And Mark Meadows said to Hannity, "Stress every vote matters. Get out and vote," on radio. And Hannity responds, "Yes, sir." Quite literally, Fox propagandist taking his marching orders from the chief of staff of the president of the United States. We suspected it, but here we have the proof. Sean Hannity responded, "On it. Any particular place we need a push?" And Meadows wrote back, "Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Arizona, Nevada." And Hannity says, "Got it, everywhere." There were some texts with Matt Schlapp and Mark Meadows, which aren't super interesting. On November 6th, just after the election, Jason Miller was putting out talking points so that others could argue that something's fishy and Trump probably won. Texting one other key data point. In 2016, Trump received 15.5% of the vote in Philly County. Today, he's at 18.3%. So he did better in that county. In 2016, Philly County made up 11.3% of the total vote. As it currently stands, Philly County only makes up 10.2% of the statewide vote tally. So Trump performed better in a smaller share. Santorum was just making this point on CNN. Cuts hard against the urban vote stealing narrative. Okay, so they're coming up with these ideas to try to support the claim, false, not based in evidence, that Trump actually won. Rick Perry texted Mark Meadows, "We have the data-driven program that can clearly show where the fraud was committed. This is the silver bullet. Pam Bondi, misspelled, has seen and agrees." All day, every day, just sending these things back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Ginny Thomas, the wife of Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas, was texting Mark Meadows, trying to understand the Sidney Powell distancing. Remember, this was when the Trump campaign said, "Oh, Sidney Powell, that crazy lawyer, she's on her own. She's not really with us." And Meadows wrote back, "She doesn't have anything, or at least she won't share if she does." To which Ginny Thomas responds, "Wow. Wow." Some other text messages that I want to look at with you. Donald Trump Jr. texted Mark Meadows on January 6th as the riots were taking place and said he's got to condemn this ASAP. The Capitol Police tweet is not enough. Mark Meadows writes back, "I'm pushing it hard. I agree." This is one you go to the mattresses on. They will try to F his entire legacy on this if it gets worse. Don Jr., seemingly unable to talk sense into his own father, was texting Mark Meadows saying, the one tweet isn't enough. They're going to screw him on this. Mick Mulvaney texted Mark Meadows saying, "Mark, he needs to stop this now. Can I do anything to help?" Republican Congressman William Timmons texted, "The president needs to stop this ASAP." They all knew how bad this was, and they knew it was Trumpists, and they knew it was bad for Trump on January 6th. Reince Priebus texted Mark Meadows saying, "Tell them to go home." They all knew what it was and how bad it looked. They all knew it. And yet, publicly, they continued to spin a different line. And that night, January 6th at night, the very Fox hosts who were texting with Meadows, and they all knew it was Trumpists. They all knew Trump wasn't doing enough to stop it. The fact that he instigated it. They went on Fox and they said, "Oh, it could have been Antifa. Could have been Black Lives Matter. Who knows what it was, who it was." So recently, Democratic Congressman Jamie Raskin said he now is convinced that this was a coordinated effort to cause these riots and then to run interference. He says they have the evidence, they have the testimony, and it's going to come out. And now we have the texts. Whether this is all of it or part of it, we don't yet know. But the story Republicans wove, we knew it was not accurate. That's not a shock. I mean, we're now, 15 months in? We knew that they weren't telling the truth. But now we know that it was a coordinated and knowing effort to deceive, not they just had the wrong understanding of what happened. It's truly incredible. Science has shown us that lowering your body temperature at night improves sleep in many ways. Our sponsor, Chili Sleep, creates systems that cool down your bed, promoting deeper, higher quality sleep. It also just feels great. I use it at home. I'd recommend it to anyone, and I've recommended it to some friends who now use it as well. Chili Sleep's product, the Ooler, the Cube, and the Dock Pro, they're all water-based, temperature-controlled pads that fit onto your existing mattress. You can keep your bed as low as 55 degrees, as hot as 115 degrees. I like 60. Their new Dock Pro sleep system has double the cooling power of other models, 5 times the cooling contact, whisper quiet. You can control it with your phone. It's awesome. With Chili Sleep, there's no more feeling hot at night, no more sweating. Cooling your bed down like this is amazing. You really have to try it for yourself. When you go to chilisleep.com/Pacman, you'll get 30% off the Ooler and Cube sleep systems and 10% off the new Dock Pro. This offer is only for my audience. The link is down below.